Hey guys, Coach Gaglione here. This is another edition of our at-home workout series. Today we're talking about furniture movers. So these are some real cheap things you can get on Amazon, hopefully. I don't think that these have really caught on too much yet, but this is a really cheap at-home workout device. I first saw a similar device being used from a trainer named Valerie Waters. She made these Val slides, but basically it's just a glorified furniture mover. So you can just get these. These are called super sliders. These are really nice, they're durable. A couple of considerations for these. You're obviously going to be using your body weight for these movements. You can obviously add load if you have dumbbells and things like that. For some of the exercises, you can add some bands. You're also going to get a little bit of a friction component. So these are going to be best done on like a carpet or mat of some sort. So if you have carpeted floor, that's a great option as well. So especially if you're at home and you have limited equipment, you can pick up a pair of these. I think these were like 10 or 15 bucks on Amazon. So we're going to go through a full body workout routine. If you want to do some of the movements can be done with some padding. You could use like a pillow for your knees if you want to go on your knees. So I'm going to go over some push-up variations first. So I'm going to start off on my knees because some of them are a little bit more challenging. So I could use a pillow just to kind of have some padding here. So I can go here and just do like a push-up. And what I could do is go a reaching push-up. And what that does is it makes a little bit more of a one-arm emphasis. So I'm kind of focusing on my right arm doing most of the work, and then my left arm. So obviously I can add the challenge by elevating my feet. But you don't have to start there. And then my right shoulder is kind of bugging me a little bit, so that was a little challenging even for myself. So that's an option. Again, I would start from your knees and can progress from there, but it's just a way to kind of add some challenges to push-ups. Another thing you could do is to add a core component to your push-ups. We call this an atomic push-up, but it's basically a push-up with a knee tuck. So we're going to put our feet on sliders. So we're going to do a regular push-up. We want to push our toes firmly into sliders. We're going to do a regular push-up and then go right into a knee tuck. Just like that. So it's just going to add some of a cardio component into it, and then you're going to combine upper body with your core. Another upper body movement you could do, I definitely recommend do these from your knees, is a fly variation. You're going to get a little bit of resistance coming in due to the friction of the sliders. This is a pretty challenging movement. So I'm going to start my forearms, spread out as much as you can, under control, and then come back in. Depending on the different sizes and shapes of these, you can kind of do different variations. Again, you're going to go from the forearms here, come out, drive back in. And that's going to be a good way to work your chest a little bit more cumbersome, a little bit harder to control. So you really got to drive into those sliders and pull in. And you can kind of experiment with different angles of the sliders and see if like this way works a little bit better for you. You could try to turn them horizontally to make it a little bit easier, a little bit of a smoother transition. So that's good upper body variations. You could also do like kind of an archer variation. So again, I'm going to turn the slider horizontally, come out to the side, come back in. So I'm getting a little bit of a chest fly component on one side, doing one arm at a time. And again, my right shoulder is a little bit dinged up right now, so it's a little bit challenging for me on my right side. So that's the push-up variations. We're going to go through some core movements. So since I'm right here, we're going to do like an ab rollout movement. I like to, again, go on my knees for this one. We're going to try to keep the pelvis neutral roll out. So I can just start off with eccentric or just lowering only. As I get further out, it's going to get more challenging on my core. And then eventually, I'll just drop once I can't control it anymore, and then come back in. As I get stronger, I could use my lats to pull myself back up in position. So again, I'm starting with my pelvis tucked, squeezing the glutes. Once I get out to a point I can control it, I can drive back in. Good contraction with the lats and the core. So that's an ab rollout variation. And that's pretty challenging. There might be some really strong people that can do these from a toes position. I am still too chubby for that one. But that's a progression if you want to work towards it. Other core variations you could do knee tuck, pike, and body saw variations. The body saw is a dynamic plank. Trying to keep my rib cage and pelvis level, and I'm using my shoulder as the pivot point to make the plank more challenging, to make a longer lever. So my goal is, as I saw, pivoting at the shoulder joints, try to keep my hips level and not let them rise or dip. And that's a core burner right there. If I want to do something a little bit more dynamic, I can do a knee tuck or a pike. So that's hip flexion with bent knees, and then hip flexion with straight knees. Now your flexibility will limit how much range of motion that you could do with that one, but that's another great way to add in the hip flexors and the abs. As you can see, I'm breathing heavy, just using my body weight here. Now we're going to go through some stuff you can do for your hamstrings and glutes. We call this supine hip extension leg curl, or shelk for short. Again, we're going to start off with the eccentric only version. So we're going to get in a glute bridge position. We're going to start off with just the lowering phase. Great hamstring exercise. I'm trying to resist the motion coming out. So I'm going to start in a glute bridge position and extend out slowly as far as I can. And then I'm just going to drop once I'm ready. So I'm just going to do the eccentric only. And as I get stronger, I could add in the leg curl part. Ooh. I want to try to get my hips up to that fully hips extended position. I did legs this morning, so that's challenging for me. For you really strong guys out there, you could also do this single leg. I am not strong enough to do it single leg, so I'm just going to demo with one at a time. I can also lower, if I want to get fancy, I could lower with one and then come back up with two, lower with one, and then come back up with two. So that's a great hamstring workout that you could do with the sliders. For some people, just lowering themselves is going to be challenging enough. So now we're going to go over some variations for the inner thigh, and then we're going to finish off with the legs. So the adductors, the inner thighs, is usually a hard movement or hard muscle to hit, especially with no equipment. So with this sliders, I can benefit from using the friction of the pad, and I'm going to slide out as much as I can and then squeeze back in. I can also hold the pole or a couch for balance. So I'm letting my adductor stretch, pull in, stretch, pull in. Again, I could use a couch cushion for my knee if I need some support. So I'm going to do the other side now. So I like to have something for balance here. So if inner thigh is something you want to work, I'm going to get that friction resistance. If I don't have bands, obviously if I could attach a band to a pole, that would make it even harder. Another thing that we could do, now I'll get to the standing position, is work what's called a Cossack Squat. So I need to use this pole for balance for me. So I'm going to put this on my heel here. I'm going to come out and then come back in and drag, squeeze. So I'm pushing through here, stretching. So these are tough for me. So I need the pole for balance. There probably are some people out there that don't need it. I'm going to do it on other sides for good measure. So I'm loading this hip, stretching the opposite side. So we call that a Cossack squat, or it's a static side lunge, or a lateral split squat. Okay, so I'm working the inner thighs there. Last one we can do is a reverse lunge with the slider. So again, I could use this for balance or not. I'm going to keep my toes planted. I want to try to keep most of the pressure in this leg. I'm going to slide back. If I want to make it more hip dominant, I could bend over more. If I want to make it more quad dominant, I could be more upright and let my knee come more forward. So this would be more of a quad dominant lunge with my knee more forward, torso more upright. If I want to bend over a little bit more, load the hip, bend over more, and then come back. That would be more glute and hamstring work. We do the other side for good measure. Again, more quad dominant here. Or I could be more bent over and more hip dominant. All right, so that's the furniture mover workout for you, full body. The one thing you're really not getting a lot of work in is your upper back, so I would try to do some sort of pull-up, body weight row, shoulder surfer series, something for your upper back, but that's basically a good full body workout that you could do with just a pair of furniture movers. If you guys enjoyed the video, please subscribe, please like the page, check out the links below if you want to support the program. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, stay strong, and we'll see you soon.